There is a perspective that gets thrown around a lot about how Cyril Ramaphosa must be compromised. He is compromised. And the manner in which he is compromised is not anything that can get him fired. And it surprises me how the Pala Pala thing has managed to go on as long as it has, because anyone who's actually read the actual truth around it, like, honestly, no president is going to get fired over that. Nothing really happened there. At worst, at best, it's that private game farm's personal matter, private matter. And again, it's a failure of the media to actually uphold their role as the watchdogs of society and actually tell people the truth. And it amazes me how shorts, like, it amazes me how quickly we forget. First of all, I'm going to just speak from if we are to understand a human being. Cyril Ramaphosa has that whole concomitant. Speaking with my father last week, and I was like, that word always gets me. Concomitant. That word that he used during the Marikana massacre. And it will follow him for the rest of his life, and it haunts him in his own personal capacity. We don't even need to keep reminding him. Of course, everyone will. But that mistake alone, him being exposed for that statement, has ensured that he was already a man who moves very carefully, very strategically. But what it absolutely ensured is that now that's the only way that he's going to move. It's the absolute only way he's going to move. And so when I say, oh, he is compromised, but not in the way that people think, is that it's nothing that will get him arrested. So it is very nice to say, oh, the president must know this, the president must know that, and da-da-da-da. But this is why from even before he got in, and since he's been in, there's been efforts to just get him out. Because previously what you had is you had the sign-off of the highest office, the presidential office, where even the president was also involved and could easily be incriminated. So much, and easy incrimination, and with enough proof that he can be arrested, right? And I want to bring in this perspective by using a very personal point of view. If right now, let's say you're married in a relationship, or even if you're on your own, but you are going through a situation where you lose all of your money, you lose your home, you lose everything. Everything is absolutely gone. Everything, right? And then one day, finally, you find a place to live. Not through your own financial capacity, but through grace, through kindness, through whatever interventions you've been able to access. Now, you are in arrears, years in arrears. Maybe your children's school understood and allowed 2 years to pass, 3 years to pass, particularly if they were in private schools, where at the high school level, if someone is in grade 11 or grade 12 and their parents start struggling with school fees, they will let you finish off. But it's this whole drama around transcripts being withheld and all of it, but they will let you complete the year. So now you have kids who've been in private schools, you had certain vehicles, but now they have also been, they've been taken back. I forgot what that word is. Perimenopause. But now your vehicle, your home repossessed, has been repossessed. So it really is starting from scratch. How many years do you think it's going to take you to eradicate your debt, to just even out? Let's say you are anywhere close to $1 million in debt. This includes the school fees debt, your credit card debts, your your home that you've lost, the vehicle that you've lost, but all these debts, right? How many years do you think it will take you to just even out? And this is not with other people helping you or giving you things. This is just finally, maybe you finally get a piece job, nyana, so both you and your partner or just you, and you really are trying to come back up. Now, replace that with South Africa, and you look at what the Jacob Zuma administration did, how they ruined this country. It's much like a drug addiction where for a long time you can't see that the person is an addict, and during his time it's like, oh, people can't see actually the extent of the damage. The person still looks good, whatever, and then one day you see them and you're like, damn, they just look rough. Like life has shown them what life is about. And that's when you realize, oh my gosh, this person's an addict. Oh my gosh, this. Cyril Ramaphosa walked into a government exactly like that. The drug addict that hadn't quite shown just how bad they look. The couple that has lost everything and now has to come back up. Now, when you look at the South African example, and this is why this General Mkhwanazi thing is such a wonderful thing, because it's going to show South Africans just who is responsible for the ugliness that exists. Because Mkhwanazi is not just going to implicate ANC people, it's going to implicate people in the DA, it's going to implicate people in the MK party, it's going to implicate people in the EFF, it's going to implicate everybody. And every time I sit and I ask Mother about, Cyril and other, because I'm interested in all of this, and she always breaks down their personalities according to what star sign they are and how, And the one thing that she always emphasizes is that this is an incredibly strategic man, and he's been a man who has no moves to make. He walked onto a chessboard where there was no more moves to make. Everyone was on their side. Everything was decided. And so when I hear these stories about, this is why Nelson Mandela didn't want Cyril Ramaphosa to be his deputy, it's a lie. Nelson Mandela wanted Cyril Ramaphosa as his deputy, but Thabo Mbeki threw a tantrum. And I was saying to Mother, I was like, well, I mean, must I use words like allegedly because I believe this? I know what you're sharing with me, and beyond that, my own research supports this. But quite literally is someone who was raised during the time, during exile, with that intent to say one day you are going to be president of South Africa. When we achieve the freedom, you will be president. And so if anyone took someone's position, it was Thabo Mbeki taking Cyril Ramaphosa's place. But one thing I know, and also from my discussions with my guides and things, is that Cyril Ramaphosa did not go into this blind. I feel that beyond his intellectual consultations, there were definitely spiritual consultations. And I think his position right now that he occupies is something that even he has known about. And so the fact that this is where he was always going to be, I think he's very much aware of that. And I believe that anyone with an inkling of a spiritual leaning will also attest to that this was always going to be his time. So, and I don't believe that his presidency was ever about miracles. I think his presidency was always about being a cork to block, a cork that stops something. But it's been going on so long that you can put the cork in, but my God, it's bursting out.